Greetings. This is a podcast to discuss my forthcoming tour. Oh, this is Paul Foot speaking, by the way. It's the Paul Foot podcast. I'm going on tour shortly with Jack, who is a poet. He goes under the name of Malcolm Head when he performs. Sometimes other names for tax reasons, changes it. Anyway, he's with me, and in the podcast we're going to be discussing different places we're going on the tour, places we're particularly looking forward to. Sometimes because it's a nice theatre, sometimes because it's a nice name, and so on. As you will notice, Jack has not spoken yet. I am the only one speaking. The early format of the podcast is just me speaking alone. Later the podcast format will change radically when it becomes more of a dialogue. But the dialogue is not commenced yet, and will not commence until I say new format commence, which is the thing. I mean, normally you might expect a link, something like, and I'm joined by Jack, it's nice to speak to you, but we're not going to do it like that. It'll just be very abrupt and rather aggressive, and I'll just say new format commence. When that happens, then that wasn't the real one, by the way.
Right.
We know that wasn't the real one because when the real format commences, it will be accompanied by a bang. When that happens, the new format will, and then it will go from suddenly a very aggressive, intimidating atmosphere to an atmosphere of bonhomie and chat, discussing the tour and how much we're looking forward to it. Obviously, in reality, Jack is not looking forward to it because when we're on tour, I get very aggressive about ham, and I always say to him, "Have you got me any ham today?" And he never knows whether it's pastrami ham that I want, whether it's mortadella ham or third ham, and I change each day what sort of ham I want. And if he gets the wrong ham, I get very aggressive and sometimes violent, whipping a licorice stick, one of those long licorice things you get, like a sweet that's licorice, and you never really know where to buy it. The only place you can buy it, that anyone really knows that you can get it from, is one of those motorway service stations. And you can get it at Pick and Mix at 3 in the morning, very expensive and overpriced. Anyway, I get one of those, and oddly enough charge it to him later. I get him to pay for the licorice stick, although I buy it with my own money initially, but he received an invoice, and then I get it and I whip it across his face hard. But if he gets the correct ham, then he gets no whipping or anything, but I just quietly and sullenly eat the ham. And then there's an atmosphere of considerable awkwardness. So the point is that because of the whole ham business, Jack is not really looking forward to things. He's perhaps dreading the tour with the whole ham and the licorice being whipped across his face, and then there's the business with the candy cane and the insertion. So anyway, it's not what he wants. But for the purposes of the podcast, we will be pretending that he's looking forward to it, and it'll be an atmosphere of bonhomie, chat, and oh yeah, he's looking forward to that sort of thing. That, of course, will commence as soon as the signal is given. First, before the signal is given, some moment of quiet contemplation for me. Now, many people listening to the podcast will be Hindu, or will know a Hindu, and they will know of the beautiful Hindu songs that are sung during Hindu prayer. This is not a Hindu song. It's based upon my own religion that I've invented just literally moments ago. It's the Chaka religion, and in the Chaka religion a song is sung. I will sing the song. It's a prayer to the Chaka god. The name of the god of Chaka is Bajal. The rough translation of the prayer is, "Hello, Bashai. How are you today? I'm all right. I am pleased that you are my God and you are guiding me. I need guidance because I have a bad leg. I caught my leg earlier on the door of a bus. I was boarding a bus and the bus driver closed the door on my leg and it hurt my leg. And I feared I would lose the use of my leg because my leg fell off. It was smashed off by a door. My pelvis was shattered as basically I was dragged by the bus door for 300 yards while shocked onlookers looked on, because that's what an onlooker does. And also people on the bus were pointing and saying to the bus driver, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus! That man's leg is caught in." Eventually he brought it to an emergency stop and I was flung forwards. My pelvis cracked into the corner of the bus, severely injuring me. But with your help, Bashai, my God, you will heal me and I will be restored. And indeed, after you interceded, Bashai, with your healing, my leg is fully restored. Many will say, "A miracle, how can your leg be restored so quickly?" The real reason is because the story about me hurting my leg in the bus door is lies. But even though you have not really healed my leg, because my leg was never injured, and that was lies, I still respect you, Bashai, because you are my God. That's the rough translation of the following song. Change of format commencement.
Thank you for that lovely prayer, Paul. That was excellent.
Thanks, Jack.
Good. And the song was good as well. The translation was very useful.
Yes, it's useful to know.
I wouldn't have understood otherwise. I mean, I would have thought this is a beautiful song, but I wouldn't have known what it meant.
No, it means a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, when I say a lot of words.
No, and I like the way it started as well. You said, "How are you?" "I'm all right." I think all good prayers start like that, don't they?
Yeah, it's to find out whether God's feeling all right.
Because not enough people ask the God how they're feeling, do they? They say,
No.
"Oh, I'm feeling like this, God. I need this help," and no one asks them how they're doing.
A lot of gods have off days.
Oh, absolutely, they're
Well, are you looking forward to the tour, Jack? You're touring with me on the tour.
Yes, no, I'm very much looking forward to it. I can't think of any reasons, in fact, why I wouldn't be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Of course, you did mention the ham situation, but for me that isn't a problem. I got used to it last year, and I'm going to be much more prepared this year for the ham situation.
Yes, this year it's not ham though. I've changed it.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate because I've been really getting ready for that. Okay, but
salt beef or beef and ale pie.
Oh God.
Or a third snack.
Oh,
the new.
A third snack. That's so broad though. I mean, I could really go wrong. I mean, even beef and ale pie. There's lots of different types, brands. This is.
You could easily go wrong because what I'll probably do is just fix it to the third snack, choose what that is, and you're unlikely to get it right.
Yes, and you'll still be invoicing me for everything.
Yeah, I'll still invoice you.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like that time when I broke your collarbone and you had to go to hospital and I invoiced you.
Yes,
for
yeah.
the visit when I came to hospital with the grapes.
Yeah.
I invoiced you for the grapes.
That's right. Yeah, and you but you said to me this is show business, so I said that's fine. I said I'll do what I have to do.
That time when I pushed your car off a cliff and then it went to the car pound.
Yes,
smashed
it did.
Up, and then I invoiced you for
That's right, you invoiced me for the
petrol of taking it to the cliff. But even though you'd paid for the petrol on your own credit card that I'd stolen.
And there was a Twix on the same receipt for the petrol as well, from what I remember.
Yes, well that's what I stuck the Twix into the exhaust.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's why the engine went wrong.
Right. Yeah. And you invoiced me for that as well.
Yeah, I put the Twix into the exhaust.
Yeah.
And then put the ran the engine very fast to put a brick down on the accelerator, and you could hear it going, oh, but the twitch was in the exhaust, and like the pressure was building up inside the exhaust pipe. Suddenly there's just a massive detonation.
Yes. Yeah, and I got that car on finance. I'm actually still paying it off as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
They're still picking it up, actually, from the bottom of the pier.
Yeah. Something quite tragic about paying for a car that is no longer in existence.
Yeah, the fact that you're still paying for it, but they're still finding bits of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Down by Kettering Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Down by we are.
That's one of the places on the
playing
tour.
in Kettering, are we?
Kettering is renowned for being one of the furthest from the beach of anywhere in the country. It's sort of in the middle of the country in a way, isn't it?
Yes.
That's on the tour.
Yeah, look forward to. We're playing in the Mask Theatre, but not Mask like M-A-S-K.
No.
Mask M-A-S-Q-U-E.
Mask. French, I suppose, isn't it? Like a lot of things in Kettering are very French.
Absolutely, it's a very French town.
French, a lot of French restaurants. Some of the top French restaurants are in Kettering. In fact, a lot of people don't go to Paris anymore.
No.
They go to Kettering.
Absolutely.
You know, why bother flying to Paris when you're the Eurostar or whatever, when you've got Kettering on your doorstep?
Yeah.
I mean, I had that traditional French. Well, they have their own twist on the French.
Of course, yeah.
Like one time it was some bits of garlic stuck on top of a baguette that was repeatedly smashed into my face. That was one of their signature dishes.
It's a very original take on that.
When I say signature dish, what I mean is they bang you over the head with a dish until you put your signature onto a fraudulently printed credit card receipt.
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's the last you see of them.
Well, that's what's put Kettering French food on the map. Those original takes on the food. Yeah. Yeah.
When you say take on the food, you mean taking it from your account without authorization.
And I imagine they do interesting things with their sort of snails and their snail dish.
Yes. Well, the snail. They have of course the snail race in.
Oh, of course, the famous Kettering snail race.
Yes, the snail and the tortoise.
Yes, yeah.
They have a snail going against a tortoise.
Yeah.
And they both get run over and killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they
put the high street.
And then the sort of mess that is created, they put into a
tagine.
A tagine, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, with lots of garlic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of garlic to take away the horrendous.
Throw it on your face.
Yeah. The flavour is not good.
No.
So they have to put a lot of garlic in.
No, and it's actually they throw it on your face, and actually it's quite good for your skin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like a face mask.
Yes.
Which is where we're going to the mask
theatre. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's called that.
That is. Of course. I'm glad we solved that mystery. That puzzle.
We're also going to. There's some interesting places on like the connections, like Chester followed by Chesterfield.
Yes.
Not particularly close to each other or connected with Chester and Chesterfield. It would be good if, of course, we've got Manchester on the tour, but it would be good if it was Manchester, Chester, Chesterfield. It would be good if the whole tour were like that. So you could have Manchester, Chester, Chesterfield, Summerfield.
Yes, absolutely. If it all linked linguistically.
Yeah, what's a place with the end of the field that isn't a supermarket, like an actual place?
Mansfield.
Mansfield. Yeah.
And then
Manchester again.
Manchester again. Yeah.
You could have like a tour like that.
And then somewhere then there's lots of places that end in ster. So like Leicester after that. After Manchester.
Bradford we've got on the tour. What we don't have on the tour is Bradford upon Avon. Or Bradford on Avon.
Yes.
I think it's on, not upon. But that would be a good thing, wouldn't it? You could have Bradford.
Yeah.
I wonder whether anyone's done a tour like that, where they've gone from Bradford to Bradford on Avon to Stratford on Avon to Stratford, East London.
Yes. Well, I doubt they have, but I can't imagine why, because that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, it'd be a good plan for next year.
Yes.
There's two Berries as well, isn't there? There's a Berry that you're going to, and then there's a Berry something else.
Bury St Edmunds.
There's Bury, which is near Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's another Bury too.
St Edmunds.
Yes.
and that's it.
There's just 2 Berries, is there?
Yeah.
Are they both in the north?
No, Bury's in
It's
Edmunds.
Noel Edmunds, but that's not a place.
Of course, no.
You can visit it.
Yeah.
You can visit Noel Edmunds. Have you ever done the Noel Edmunds tour?
No,
Yeah,
it's open to anyone.
Yeah, you first of all you spend the morning going looking around his jumper. Then you spend lunch in the beard. You sit in the beard,
Yeah.
having a quiche, a light quiche.
Delicious.
Yeah, and then you spend the evening in the heavily made up eyes. Yeah. In fact, painting, you can paint more makeup onto the eyes.
It's amazing that he has time with his busy schedule. I mean, how much money does it cost one to visit Noel Edmunds?
Well, well, you pay. You have to open a box.
Yeah.
Just
Of course.
you would want to pay.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. He's a good soul.
Yes, in fact, it's either him or Dale Winton. It's Dale or no Dale. So you open it up, and you either get. Then they say £250. That's what you have to pay, not
Yeah.
what you earn, but what
Yeah.
you have to pay. And then they say Dale or no Dale. And if you say no Dale, it's not Dale Winton. What's his name?
Dale Winton.
Yeah, not Dale Winton, but it's one of the other celebrities. It's not always Noel Edmunds. It could be anyone.
So it's 50% chance it's Dale Winton, and 50% chance it could be any other celebrity
actually,
at the time.
What
Dale
it
or
is,
no
it
Dale.
tends to be celebrities who aren't in the limelight anymore.
That's
Because
good.
Dale Winton is one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Noel Edmunds is the exception because he's still in the limelight.
Yeah.
Carol Smiley, who
Yes.
used to do BBC Two's Changing
Yeah.
Rooms.
Anthea Turner.
Anthea Turner, she's another one you can visit now.
Yeah.
And at knockdown rates, not like 10 years ago, to visit Anthea Turner, I mean, I was paying £100 an hour just
Yes.
to visit her.
Absolutely.
Now,
Worth
she's-
every penny, Mike.
she's paying, oh yeah, but she's paying me 10 quid for an afternoon. It's just I visit Anthea Turner and we sit in rocking chairs, like with a cup of cocoa, talking about the old times of her career.
And really, it's tragic, and she should pay you more.
Well, she should know. I'm having to put up the money
Yeah.
because I'm finding you've heard the anecdote once, you've heard it 100 times. Oh, did you know about the time when Anthea Turner was filming and I wet myself and all that sort of stuff, Oh yeah. I was just getting out of that's the old one with Annika Rice when she said,
Yeah.
she said, I used to wet myself in this helicopter. I got very nervous of flying, and she used to say, she used to nip into the helicopter to fly from one place to another, and they used to have to, like off camera, she used to have to change her, like a complete change of clothing. They used to take all her underwear off and everything. In the later,
What we didn't see in that helicopter.
what we
yeah.
didn't see, in the later versions, she used to wear a nappy. She used to wear like a thing because she used to just wet herself constantly on the helicopter. She got so nervous.
But that does make sense because when you see old clips of her waist does seem abnormally bigger
Yeah.
than the rest of her, and it's obviously the nappy underneath her
She wore a
trousers.
huge nappy, like an astronaut.
Yeah.
In
Well,
fact, you know how astronauts wore nappy, and they used to have a thing. So
Yeah.
obviously, if you're on the moon for 5 hours, you can't be,
No.
to the toilet and so on.
Absolutely not.
If you do, you get your. Did you know if you were on the moon and then you undid yourself to go to the toilet, you get your penis sucked off because it would go out into space with a
You would,
low air
absolutely.
pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't know when you're on the moon. The last thing you want to have is to be sucked
Well, this
off.
is the danger of us eventually going to the moon. If it's very rich people, they'll be doing that sort of thing for fun, won't they? These sick perverts will be going off to the moon to get sucked off, but coming back with nothing left.
No, there's nothing left there. So they used to have a nappy thing or like some arrangement, and then they arranged once. What the real story is, anyway, it was really developed for Annika Rice, and only later did they find a place for it on the Apollo missions. Because you might say, well, Annika Rice wasn't on the television till after the Apollo missions, and you'd be right, but she was wetting herself long before. It's been a lifelong problem. So yes.
But it didn't hold her back, which is great.
Oh no, she never holds back.
No, absolutely
No,
doesn't. No, she doesn't hold back, and it doesn't hold her back.
No, she just goes for it.
It's good, and now she's not on TV as much. She can just wee into a nappy.
Oh yeah.
Willy nilly.
Willy-nilly. That's the wrong.
Nearly wrong. Yeah.
It's the wrong phrase to use on someone who's been to the moon
Absolutely.
His willy
because that really
ripped off.
That really is willy-nilly, isn't it?
Willy will nil willy.
Nil willy.
That's where the expression comes from, willy-nilly. It comes from the early explorers into space who said, "Oh, I just." Like a lot of ladies said, "Oh, I just have a bit of a space piss," and the other one said, "Don't do it." And the air pressure, on the willy was huge. I mean, they're but it's a bit like
makes sense. Yeah.
Actually, it's not very pleasant. Like if you open a plane and everything gets pulled out that little aperture.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Basically. If you open up
the same sound
on the space in the space, it's not just your willy that gets sucked out into space; it's the whole body.
Yeah,
gets sucked out through the willy hole.
Yeah,
I mean, if you are dead, basically, that you just come back to Earth with an empty spacesuit with the willy hole open. But then a lot of the people at the funeral, they say, "Well, it's what he would have wanted."
And there are always a couple of people at a funeral that question that idea.
Yeah.
Whether he really did want that.
And of course it wasn't.
No.
Anyway, so what other places on the tour?
We're going to Liverpool.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
The Slaughterhouse. I've never done a gig in an abattoir before.
No, I haven't. No.
Which I think would be good. I can imagine that working quite well. It's a good dynamic. The combination of pigs squealing.
You've got a captive audience.
I like the idea of the combination of pigs squealing and the audience cheering and laughing and clapping. And sometimes when a joke doesn't go so well, an idea doesn't go so well, you mainly hear. Then you hear more of the sort of the cattle sounds. But then when something goes well, it's mainly the audience, and you can't really hear the animals being slaughtered.
Oh, what if you did a good joke?
Yeah, and that's kind of the challenge. That's the thing is, if that's what they say when people talk about a good night at the Slaughterhouse. They say, "Oh, this comic was great. We didn't hear pig squealing
once." It's a bit like sometimes, let's say if I'm watching you perform in the first half, because you always start the first half of my show.
Yes.
The first bit, and sometimes I might be in the audience watching. Sometimes I've got a little cough,
Yes.
And naturally, I'll wait till you get a laugh, and when you get a big laugh. It's a similar thing as the Slaughterhouse in Liverpool. When you get a good laugh, I just kill a sheep.
Exactly.
Yes. The laugh.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good policy that they have. Actually, it's good that they can do it whilst there's laughter. That's nice. And we're also going to Coventry.
Yes.
Which I honestly don't know all that much about Coventry, except that I've been there once or twice, and it was bombed severely during the Second World War.
Yes.
That's the main thing that I know about Coventry.
And also ride a cock horse to Coventry, as the phrase doesn't go.
Ride a cock horse to Coventry.
If you ride a cock horse to Coventry, it's catastrophic.
It's like a metaphor.
Well, yeah. I mean, you use the wrong place to take a cock horse.
Okay, literally, ride a cock horse to Coventry. It's not a metaphor. It's just an awful thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was the original cock horse ridden to?
To Banbury Cross.
It was Banbury Cross, wasn't it?
But then they got confused with the sat nav not working properly. A lot of the more recent cock horses have been ending up in Coventry.
A disaster. But it's a good anecdote for people in Coventry. Good story. Got all the cock
what is a cock horse? I suppose it's a mixture of an interbreed between a cockerel and a horse.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a horse that can fly a tiny bit.
Yeah. And lay eggs.
Yes, or maybe it's more cockerel, so primarily it lays eggs, but it can also run in the Grand National. Yeah,
because that's of course the origins of the egg and spoon race. Which one has of course school sports days, but it was originally run by cock horses.
Yeah, of course, because the cock horses would lay the eggs themselves.
Cock horses would lay their own eggs onto their spoon and then
put the spoon in the horse's mouth.
Yeah, a spoon in the horse's mouth.
That's where straight from the horse's mouth comes from.
Yeah. So
because the egg in the spoon in the horse's mouth, that's straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes, because sometimes that will happen. Like if you have an egg and it's not very, a bit old egg, you say it's a bit of an old egg. But if it's a fresh egg, you say it's straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Recently laid by the horse.
Recently laid by the cock horse.
The cock horse, and then you eat it.
Well, that's good. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
We are we are unravelling the origins of lots of interesting metaphors and phrases.
Yes.
This is good. We are similarly going to Norwich.
Norwich, yes.
Norwich Arts Centre. That is a nice place. I've been there, and I like Norwich. Famous for Coleman's mustard. And
oh
yes. The female cook whose name I can't remember. Delia Smith. Yes.
And of course Alan Partridge.
Delia Smith is one of the other people who's not on the telly much anymore. You can visit her.
Oh, the Dale or No Dale.
No, I visited her in the home last week.
Was it expensive? It wouldn't be, would it?
Well, it was expensive for her. She paid me 200 quid. I had to sit there and watch her, do one of her. She said, I haven't been on telly for a while, but I'm going to do one of my old demonstrations. She demonstrated to me how to boil an egg. Ironically, it was straight from the horse's mouth, the egg.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Camilla had recently just visited, and she laid an egg.
Good, because he has that capability.
Camilla is a cock horse. It's not widely
incredible.
Known. She's a mixture of cockerel and horse.
I'll tell you, she's the best bloody looking cock horse I've ever seen. Not a particularly good looking human, but an excellent looking cock horse.
Yes. And she laid an egg when she was visiting, and Delia Smith bought it for me.
How did it taste?
Sort of cigarettes. Tasted very strongly of, like a smoker had laid it. So that was that was that. Well, I think we would draw these proceedings to a close, and so
yes,
plenty have been discussed.
Absolutely.
So any other places we haven't mentioned? Stafford will be going. Derby will be going to. Bedford, Newcastle, going to Wolverhampton. We went there last year. That was nice.
We did. That was good. That was enjoyable. We will of course be in London,
Birmingham,
Brighton,
Colchester,
Maidenhead,
Crawley,
Cambridge,
Newbury,
Salford,
Southampton,
twice, Salford, Preston,
London, Bloomsbury Theatre, same as last year.
Absolutely.
Not
Nottingham,
Cambridge,
Colchester,
Preston.
I think we've covered them now.
Yeah,
that was
we've
good.
Covered them, yeah.
We could have just done that at the beginning and not talked about anything. Just read them out. Easy, That would have been good. 1 minute 30 seconds.
Forgotten the first one though.
Oh, yes.
I thought we mentioned Harrogate.
Harrogate.
You mentioned it, didn't you?
I'm not sure I did actually.
No.
I think we missed Harrogate out, but we certainly won't be missing out on the tour itself. We'll be there.
Yeah, I got confused because Sally Magnuson.
Yes.
She was going on about Harrogate last time I saw her.
Yeah. I can imagine.
You know Sally Magnuson?
Yes, yes I do.
But she's still on the Scottish television.
Oh, is she?
She goes on there quite a bit, but she's not on the English TV.
No.
So she sort of doubles up between Scottish television and the, visit Sally Magnuson for a day in England.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot? People going out of English television into Scottish, then maybe to Welsh.
Yeah, yes.
And then to Northern Irish, and then eventually
the Aled Jones tour.
Yes.
Marvellous. I spent 3 days visiting Aled Jones.
Okay.
Walking. Yeah.
It was good. He's still singing.
Yeah, my voice very high. Walking in the air. That's mainly because of the squeezing.
Yes.
A lot of squeezing. You can hardly breathe. He smothers you with his Welsh arms. I'm walking in it. And he always says, higher. I'm walking in it. No, higher. And he squeezes you. I'm walking in the air.
He squeezes you until you hit the right note.
Until you hit the right note, yeah.
Like a bagpipe.
Yeah, it is like, in fact, actually, that's how a lot of people learn the bagpipes.
They go to Aled Jones.
Yeah, Aled Jones.
Get squeezed.
Aled Jones invented the bagpipe. The bagpipes were invented by Aled Jones. What happened is, Aled Jones, for legal reasons, may I point out this isn't true, but Aled Jones had a number of lovers, various genders, and he would never decide which one he preferred, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he always used to he's always very lucky with the ladies and the men, Aled Jones. With his chat-up line is, "Hi, I'm Aled Jones."
That's a good chat-up line, yeah.
And he used to squeeze his lovers, you see, and make different sounds, and then eventually he played a tune, a diabolical tune, sort of all out of tune it was. That was the sound of Aled Jones's various lovers being squeezed in the night.
He's a tormented soul, and that has manifested itself through the bagpipe, which is now played by many other tormented souls throughout Scotland.
The didgeridoo, that was invented by Rolf Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, that was when he was performing a sex act in a lay-by near Swindon, and that's where the noise originally occurred.
He invented it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Aboriginal, that's all lies. They didn't have anything to do with it.
No,
they didn't.
Do it, no.
They do lie.
Who?
Aborigines.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad I didn't say that on the thing.
I might edit that out.
Yeah, it's just I've read a few things sometimes. I mean, it's not on any publications you two would read. I get sent.
Is it things like Aboriginal Lies Weekly?
Similar, yes. But let's just say I'm part of a couple of groups that I'm not strictly at liberty to say the names of those groups, but they do sometimes send me letters that say things like Aborigines lie.
Do they say things like, "Do you have a secret thing against Aborigines, but can't quite put your finger on why? You just don't like them?"
Yeah.
If so, you'll meet other similar people like you at the club.
Yeah, it's essentially sort of racism and xenophobia, but in a very specific way. So it's things like Aborigines lie, Brazilians can't spell,
Peruvians have squeaky joints.
Squeaky joints, exactly. It sounds like you might have read one of these as well.
Yeah, I'm a founding member of the society. So, that concludes this podcast. Goodbye.